Let me start my session as you are informed that my session was advanced to this time. Now, before I start, let me start with one of the questions that you raised in the previous one. How does Viva happening? What does a student should do, especially first timers, to Viva? Please give some points how the demonstration should be. So, answer in this session. Right? So, this is the session which addresses how we evaluate your work at the end. Right? So, this is the year-end examination to test whether you have done your project as you are instructed. I'm Caldera. I'm the academic coordinator. Right. This examination or evaluation start from your academic year start. At the beginning of the academic year, you prepare your proposal to do within 1 year. So you prepare with your supervisor or with your client what you are going to develop within 1 year. So you put that in the project proposal and submit to us. And remember that is an agreement between you and us. So that agreement says that you are going to develop the project according to the specification that you have specified. So at the end, we test that. So keep in mind that you can't deviate from your agreement. You have to stick to that one. Because at the end of the year, your project evaluation board tests your project against the agreement that you signed at the beginning of the academic year. So then, immediately after that, we start, you submit project proposal, project progress report to the VLE to show that your progress, right? So sometimes you have a habit that you just wasted 3 or 4 months, and at the end, just before 1 month or 2 months before the project dissertation submission, you might start your project. Right? So according to our experience, we realized that those were the ones who failed at the examinations. Right? To avoid that one, we encourage you to get in touch with your project from the analysis phase. Right? So you need to submit your progress report depending on which stage you are working on. So then, interim reports. Right? We need to find out where you are in the project development stage. Right? So in the interim report you submit, you just tell about the introduction chapter, analysis and design. Right? So as previous speakers told, that is not the final one. Right? So you are free to enhance that one. Right? So I think the report is due 30th of April. Right? Right. Then finally, the project evaluation, the final examination. Right? So all these comes under the evaluation. Right? The some of the stages we give marks. Right? Some of the stages we just see that you have fulfilled the requirements. So we'll give the marks scheme when I come to the relevant slides. Right. So I just extract from your project guidelines. It says these are the objectives of the project evaluation stage. And keep in mind that your project evaluation board check the progress about your work along these steps. Right? The first objective, the ability to communicate your work. You should be able to communicate what you have done with your project evaluation board and convince them and satisfy them. Right? So make sure that you come in advance, you prepare in advance to communicate successfully what you have done to your project evaluation board. Right? If you don't come in prepared, you will be in trouble because you will be given very short time to explain what you did for 1 year period. And also your project evaluation board check whether you have undertaken the suitable projects. Right? Suitable project to accept for the BIT degree. Right? So we don't accept the project which is at the standard of the diploma. Right? So that is the scope. Whether you have the right scope when you are selecting your project. Right? So that is the agreement that you made at the beginning with the project proposals. Right? Make sure that you have the right, your project has the right scope. Right? So we expect that you should be able to judge the scope of the project with the help of your supervisor. Right? So as a third year student, you should be matured enough to judge whether my project is suitable to present before the project evaluation board here. Your project should be implemented a substantial software component. Another aspect the project evaluation board looked into is that whether you have implemented substantial software components. Right? So sometimes, as one of the speakers told, you might develop a system with the generated software or some libraries, but you have to make sure that you are allowed to do that. Even you are allowed to use some open source software, but make sure that your contribution, the project evaluation board, check what is your contribution. Right? They allow you to use the other software, but they just try to find out what is the contribution that you have. Right? So that should be suitable for the final year project. And also, very important one is work belong to the candidate. The work that you demonstrated. The work that you demonstrated, we have to find out whether you would have really implemented it. We had several cases that the students, you are very capable of presenting the system, demonstrating the systems, but still it's belong to someone else. Right? So it can be happen. Right? There may be smart people who can very well tell what the system is. Right? Still, it might not belong to you. Right? So the project evaluation board is specially instructed to see whether this piece of work is implemented by the candidate. And finally, ability to present the work in written form. So you should be able to not only communicate the work that you done effectively with your project evaluation board, you should be able to present your work in written form. That is not a straightforward task. Right? So that's why you have to submit a dissertation. Right. To check that one, so we have divided project evaluation into 3 phases. In first phase, you will have the viva, and the second phase, you will have the code modifications, and the third phase, we will check your writing skill by giving the feedback for your dissertations. So these 3 confirm through these 3 phases, project evaluation board will confirm the objective listed in the previous slide. Right. When you come to the Viva, it comprises of 3 stages: presentation, demonstrations, and question and answer sessions. Right? So mainly Viva is focused on question and answer session, but that question and answer session is based on the work that you present and demonstrate. Right? The presentation, as I said at the beginning, you will be given a very short period of time. Right? So you have to present your work in 5 minutes. So therefore you have to come very prepared to do the presentation very quickly within 5 minutes. Right? So don't take more time. So in the presentation, what you are supposed to do, you have to prepare some slides, few slides, just to tell that what the project is about. Because the project evaluation, your examiners may not know what you did. Right? So they don't come in prepared. You can't expect that they know what you did. So you have to tell clearly your examiners what the project is about and your motivations, why you select this particular project, and the scope. Right? So you have to quickly explain basically these 3 things in 5 minutes times. So as there are a lot of questions on the scope, so here you just tell about what your system basically covers. Right? The main aspect, within 5 minutes you can't tell everything. Right? So plan to tell the main aspect of your system. So I recommend just 4 or 5 slides. Right? In demonstration, you will be given 20 minutes to demonstrate. Right? Where you are supposed to demonstrate the operation of the systems. Right? So you have to be so all these things you cannot do if you have no preparation in advance. Right? So do not try during the demonstration trials. Come in prepared and make sure that you confidently demonstrate to your project evaluation board the main operation, main aspect of your systems. And also ensure the all aspect of a system pre-tested. Right? So in the demonstration, you really run your systems and show. So actually for you, that is a final task. Right? For 1 year, you try to develop the operational systems. Right? So this is your final system. So therefore make sure your system, while you are demonstrating, it won't produce any errors. You know what happens if it produces any errors? Your project evaluation board will chase on that. Right? They will ask why that happened. Sometimes you don't know. You might say, you have no idea. You should be able to explain confidently why it happened. Right? According to my experience, I found that lots of students were not able to tell why it happened because that's the first time they saw. Right? So that mistake because you haven't well tested your system. Right? So there may be, as Mr. GPS explained, if you have missed some of the testing, right? If you have some of the testing, if you are unfortunate, that will come. Right? You might have run your system several times. When you run your system at the evaluation time, unfortunately, that will come for the first time. So that is an indication for your project evaluation board that you have not tested. Right? So you will be penalized for that. And also ready with the required test data. I have seen that sometimes if we ask you to explain a particular function, during that period, you try to generate the test data. Right? So to generate the test data during the time, you have to spend time, unnecessary. You won't score any marks from that. Right? So you have to come well prepared what are your test data. Right? So then only you can effectively use the 20 minutes. Right? So I can remember that one of the students asked, how we can show our work within a short period of time. Right? So that is depending on how well you prepare. Right? Actually, you can do that one. So we don't expect everything. Right? So that is what we expect. We decide this time because we want to evaluate. Right? You have done a successful project. We don't need to look every aspect. Right? But your target is to plan this time to show the main thing that you did. Bring all the equipment needed. Right? So now you might have develop the project which needs special equipment, those special hardware. So we don't provide any special hardware or equipment. You have to bring everything. Right? We just give monitor for you or a power supply. Sometimes you may need to bring the socket because our plugs support only for the square pin. Right? So if you need a different thing, you have to come in prepared. Right? Keep in mind that we will give the power supply and monitor and access to the internet. That is the minimum thing we give. Right? You need to bring laptop, CPU, all other special hardware requirements. Right. Then, depending on your presentation and the demonstrations, then the project evaluation board start asking questions on you, right, to make sure certain things. They ask questions based on the presentation demonstration, and you should provide confident responses. Right? The project evaluation board want to find out whether you are confident on what you did. Right? So remember that. Sometimes, even though you are not the person who developed the system, sometimes you can confidently responses for the question that your project evaluation board asks. Right? So that we had experience on that. Right? Right. Now, at the end of the Viva, your project evaluation board come up with your total marks, right? Before the other evaluation start. Right? You have already scored your total marks at the end of the Viva. That's like this. Right? From the project evaluation, for project evaluation you get 90 marks, and focus report submission you get just 5 marks. And interim report submission, you get just 5 marks. Right? So these 10 marks you can score before you come to the project evaluation. Right? Make sure that, because that is very easy to score these 10 marks. Right? So don't lose any single mark on that. Right? So that is the bonus given to you, because you can. If you try, you can score 100 marks for these 2 stages, right? So at the project evaluation board, you will get 90. Right. Now, as I said, that at the Viva you can score even 100 marks, 90. Right? You can present the system, even if it doesn't belong to you. You can demonstrate the system, even if it belongs to someone else. You can confidently answer the question of the project evaluation board what you presented. So that's why we have a code modifications. Right? So this is the most important evaluation in your final examinations. Right? So this makes sure that whether the objective of this phase is not to check whether you master the language. Right? whether you master all the technologies. You have seen lots of technology, Mr. Harshviji said, but here you can apply all these things, but the objective of this code modification is to check whether the work that you have demonstrated, actually you have implemented. Right? You have confidence in coding the system. Right? So students should be able to explain any part of the system code. The project evaluation board might ask, just show the, get your source code and just explain what happened in this part of the source code. Right? If it does not belong to you, whatever, you won't be able to explain. Right? Even you study it, right? There will be some part. If it really belongs to someone else, you won't be able to explain it. Right? So therefore, make sure that if you really implemented it, you don't need to worry about the first part, explaining any part of the code. Right? And you should be able to introduce changes to the system. Right? Your project your examiners ask, right, by carefully going through your system, your demonstrations, and from the demonstration they will find out which part they will check with you. Right? They will efficiently figure out what are the things they need to check. Right? If they have some doubt on certain things, the way you demonstrate, they will point it out, and they will ask your code examiner to specially check this part. Right? The example here, for example, how do you incorporate the changes in the database structure into the program interface and reports. Right? So if your project evaluation examiner asks to change the database structure and show how it reflects your reports, how it reflects in the interfaces. Right? So all these things is your examiner come up with all these things not to fail you, right? But to check whether you are the one who implement that. Right? So if you have implemented that one, you don't need to worry at all. And also your examiner try to assess the competency in coding. Right? So by these changes, you satisfy your examiner that you have a very good confidence in coding the system, and assess the authenticity of the demonstrated code. Right? So that's also make sure that you are the one who develop. The total marks obtained at the Viva will be reduced based on the competency in coding. Right? Sometimes even you score 100% in the Viva, so this testing might fail. Right? If your examiner found that you are not the one who developed it. Right? So he might classify you as a examination offense. Right? So you very well demonstrated your system, but you have no confidence in your coding. Right? So that implies that this piece of work belongs to someone else. Right? So that kind of things we classify as plagiarism. Right? In a university environment, there is a severe punishment for the plagiarism. Right. Now finally, the dissertation feedback. So the time given for the code modification is 30 minutes. Right? So you have to complete, you have to satisfy, you have to do the changes your examiner asks within 30 minutes. You will be given access to you can refer some books if you want. And you are free to refer any books you want. You are free to access the internet if you want to find out some of the meanings of, or some the syntax of some of the program keywords. Right? So you can get all the information needed from the internet. You can access any books you want. Right? But you are not allowed to call anyone or communicate with your friends Right? You have to do everything by yourself. There's a person around you watching at you. Right. So dissertation feedback will go maximum of 45 minutes. Right? So during that period, you will be given the feedback will be given for the originally submitted draft dissertation. Right? So maybe I think August 2nd, right? You are supposed to submit your dissertation. Right? So that will be evaluated. Right? So that will be evaluated at the evaluation. So you make sure that on August 2nd, you submit your complete version. The total marks obtained at the Viva will be further reduced based on the quality of the dissertation. Right? So there's another reductions. Right? The code modification, in the code modification and the dissertation evaluation, you won't get any plus marks. Right? You get minus mark. Right? So once you add this minus mark to the total marks that you get for the Viva, you will get a less marks, and sometimes that will be reduced below the 50, which results fail. Right? So if you're lucky enough, if you've done the work very good, you get a 0 marks for dissertation, code modification and dissertation. Right? So that is the maximum you can see. The item that we look for in the dissertations are given in the project guidance. We have given in advance what we look, what we evaluate in the dissertation. Right? So you have a chance that you can prepare in advance. You can go through the dissertation and check whether you have addressed all these things. Right? So this dissertation evaluation is very easy. You can 100% prepare for the dissertation evaluation. We have set up, we have shown all the items that we test. We don't test anything beyond that one. So you by yourself check whether you have addressed all these items in your dissertation. Right? So very easily you can score 0 mark for the dissertation. I think I plan to finish this session a little bit earlier, so that I will give more time for you to ask the questions. And I expect that you are more interested in the issues in your evaluation. Right? Yeah. Any question?
Now, as Dr. Caldera said, we provide internet access, but my advice is make sure that you bring a download or whatever you use to test your system. Because in the past, I noticed some of you fail to configure your system according to our gateways and proxies and things like that. Right? So because of that, I strongly advise you to test it and do the same configuration for the demonstration. Be on the safe side.
There's a question. I have not completed internet reports yet. If I miss it or half complete, then can we face invite and they can't be right? Yes, you have to submit the internet report. If you fail, so internet report submission is one of the steps in the evaluation. if you are using jQuery, it still need to explain any part of the system code. Yes. So your examiner, the code examiner, will come up with some type of changes to your code. So if there is any one type of changes, the examiner asks. Basically, the examiner will come up with they judge your contribution. That contribution the modification. And modification and changes is based on your contribution. So shall I ask? This particular one.
jQuery normally basically use most likely that you will use in the database connections, right, for the interfaces. So what will happen is now our examiners may ask sometime to change the attribute, whatever the attribute in the database, and then to communicate. So you should know if you are done with jQuery, you know exactly how to do that. I mean, let's say drop-down menu. If you have populated with jQuery, then you would know even when the attribute had been added, how to sort of talk to the database and the jQuery. So that won't be a problem for you. It should not be. So you should be able to know how to do that. So it's just like using an API, and when the parameters are passed to the API, how it will come out. So it's not I don't think there will be an issue.
So actually, your examiners, code examiners, objective is to check whether you are the one who do so you are more clear about whether you can do these changes if you are really doing that. So you know bits and pieces around every places in your code. They will be more. Another question, how many modules and reports needed? There is no minimum number of modules and reports. It's entirely depending on you have your scope, your modules, right? And all these modules and reports, there's about the scope, the functionality, and the operation of your system. And you are examiner, paragraph, these are clear. So that is depending on how well you satisfy your project goal. And also you should be able to justify yourself that these number of modules and these number of resources is enough. Is an acceptable system for a basic grid. This is a report is read. So you should be measuring up to that. What is the relationship between internal reports and dissertation? In fact, the dissertation is an extension of internal reports. So there's a direct relationship. So if you are not up to the standard at the internal report, there's a high chance that you won't end up with the right final results. So make sure that in the subsequent report, you have come to the acceptable level of your project. I miss submitting first two progress reports and the last progress report not uploaded due to the error on systems. Anyway, I had successfully submitted 2 progress reports. Will the UCSC stop me for calling for it was not. You can say, you will use some marks out of 5. In question and answer session, only ask question up to our system, or are you checking our theory knowledge? Question is based on only about 2% demonstration. Right? So you have in your demonstration using certificates, you are using certificates. Right? So everything is depending on the question that your examiner does not come in advance the same question. Right? They create the question at the time that you present. Right? So that question is based on what you present. Not your examiner. Your feet. Do PEP check progress reports and interim reports at the evaluation board? It's not that hard. Right? So the project evaluation board is asked to just evaluate the certain things that you do in these 3 stages. Right? So the progress report, the marks of progress reports, when you come to the evaluation, you have already scored them. Right? It was already checked and marks are already given. If we have to change the use for development. Example, Visual Studio version in proposal when we submit the internet. Yeah, that's okay. The tool that you have to using the
So they are given a chance to, when you are given a chance to defend your decisions and whatever you did. So otherwise, a two-way communication, right? If you can convince the project examination board with justification, okay, this is why I changed, or this is why I moved from one approach to the other, and it will be okay. It's a viva, it's a defense. So if you fail to justify or if you fail to defend your decisions, yes, they don't know once. Okay.
So once we when we alter the dissertation feedback, does it mean that we pass the viva?
No, in fact, as the project guys, if you go through the project guys, it says that you will go for the dissertation documentation only if you satisfactorily finish the first 3 cases, viva and the oral case. But still, if you know that you fail, we won't tell you. And we try to give the feedback for each and every cases because that is the time we meet you. Right? Fortunately, we meet you here this year, but the previous years we meet you only at the end. So we realize that it is our responsibility just to give some feedback for every stage. Even we realize that you fail your project after the whole modification. We still call for your dissertation feedback to tell you if there is any problem there. Then next time you repeat the same project, there is high chance that you won't make a mistake in the dissertation. Otherwise, you will correct the mistake. But if you don't meet the
two examiners will be judged for whatever that we have done. And the dissertation, another examiner will run through our dissertation. And he or she will give the answers on top of what we have entered in our dissertation. Sometimes our actual system is working fine and it's up to the score, but in our dissertation we will at the everything that we were shown in our research system, the everything academic. I am a repeat student. At the dissertation time, I got the mark that I have my score is small. It's not up to what we have expected. But at the final results, I got C minus and my categorized on the same project. I can do the same project or I can come up with a new project. So I'm confused that where I'm going wrong. Is it in the dissertation or is it in the actual system?
There will be several possibilities, right? Yeah, there is I understand that your doubt, but we make sure that we give feedback for each and every stage. Right? Now, for example, the bureau, when you read your board qualification, how you do? Right? Sometimes you know that if you fail, you know that you fail. You have some idea, right? Sometimes you don't, it's not that you don't complete formally the board qualification. Sometimes you can do it partially, right? So that is depending on your board examiner's judge, right? Sometimes it's for that if you fail the board qualification, you have some idea, right? And also, even if you pass the board qualification, it's depending on the marks that you score in the Viva. Right? For example, that if you score 50 marks in the Viva, right? If the dissertation is not good enough, right? If some marks are reduced, then that will go failure grade. Right? But still you know whether you fail the qualification or not. Right? Then you can get for yourself. But there's some point that I realize that you might take if there is some confusion for you to check where you made the mistakes. Right? So you might need more details to improve your project next time. But some that we expect, that we advise our project users board to give not only the results, but through the Bible, through the board qualification, through the dissertation feedback, give some more feedback. Right? So because you meet us first time evaluation, so we try to share our knowledge with you. You will get more feedback.
Another question is, when I am a repeat student, I am going to do the same project again in this time. So is there anything that you will check what I have done in my first time, and then I will confirm anything that you will do this as a fresh project and do that again.
The only thing we know that we consider that you are repeat part, not how you did and what marks you got it and what mistake that you did. This is another question. Is it okay if one has to change some features that was inserted in interim in dissertation because of client claim? Yeah, you can enhance your interim reports. So the final dissertation is the extension of the interim reports, and you submit interim reports just to show us where you are, whether you have if a student misses his or her semester exam, is that the same with the project? Or is there any mutual time shift, any other preparations in case students fails? Yeah. So, only proposals and focus board submission, we don't accept any venue. That's what I accept that, right? Because we set up in advance, you are free to do it that way. But we basically say that particular day, particular year up. If you are here on that day, you can submit that venue. But make sure that you submit as soon as possible, and we go through case by case. And we have that we accept that one. It has to produce the board and it is on the evaluate your medical. Sometimes because some there's people that you are not fit for the evaluation. Sometimes some students might produce the medical. So that's why we go case by case. If there is any other reason, you will need for it. Yeah, this is a reason. They have that whole time. So maybe the last question. Can we host our web-based system in local host and web host rate? Or should it must to host in the internet?
Yes, it will depend on the project examination board, because if they are in any doubt that your system might not work, that is, you have to defend.
You have to host in your
That's why I said
CPU, otherwise if you host in somewhere else, and during the time that you demonstrate, if your server doesn't work at other side, you can't take that as excuse.
My suggestion is you make sure that your laptop will work as a server. You plug it into our network, local area network, and we will give you a workstation to run the web browser and demonstrate. If your system is at the other end, right? If your code examiner will come up and ask you to edit something on the code, how you are going to do that? Right? You can't replace your project using code to come to the other end and check the work. Right? So we make a final decision based on what you demonstrate here. And we won't do any task, we make a final decision on that time.
The question is, if I use the framework, like board classes, database drivers in the framework is if I use a framework like coding in the project, should I know to explain coding in the framework such as classes, database drivers, and frameworks? And it's a PHP, of course, coding igniter. You have Zen and the other one is API, right? Now, these frameworks, you should be able to, you don't have to know exactly what is inside. How they make and all that, we are moving last. But let's say that when you make the changes in the code, you should be able to use the framework and make the changes. Right there. Okay, so you have to practically, when you compare, you have to say that I have used this framework, so you should know the, when you say what framework you can use, you know the inside.